under the mentorship of IIT Guwahati.
Are weaved in such a way, appear to be weaved.
That's so amazing.
Obviously, like all of us don't pay attention to what the teacher is saying all the time. You will be caught, especially in Dheeraj sir's class.
I completely agree with you, Subarnajit.
We welcome all listeners to our first podcast, In the Talks, presented by the cultural team of IIIT Bhagalpur. Before we start, it would very much please you to know who the hosts are and to know what experiences we are speaking from. You are listening to second year student Subarnajit Saha, and along with me is joined Roshani, who is also a second year student. We have taken the initiative to start this podcast to let you, our listeners, be hooked onto different topics, interviews, and interesting facts. In the podcast today, we have to convey the facts about our college, IIIT Bhagalpur, as well as to let you know a few stories and events that took place in our college. We will be presenting some new insights on how the college is progressing and what new developments are being taken place. So sit back, relax, and please enjoy the show.
Thanks, Subarnajit, for this lively introduction and for giving this podcast a head start. Before talking about the college, I want to talk about that one word that has a huge impact on our life since Q1 of the last year: COVID. Since COVID hit, the biggest challenge for all of us was to keep ourselves safe. On the other hand, we all have been trying to keep ourselves entertained too. The lockdown, that was a sad precaution against the virus, and the boredom, that was clear, intolerable outcome of the COVID and the lockdown. Why have we been trying to keep ourselves entertained, you ask? Because we have been living the least productive life since more than 1 year now. So we feel how much productive a bored, sad person can be, away from the friends and the college that felt like home. Ain't that right, Subarnajit?
I completely agree, Roshni. The thing is that we don't ever get the feel of that, like the when we were at campus, like we don't get the same feeling at all. When we were at campus, we used to attend the offline classes with the teachers teaching, and we would be at the back, like for example, studying or doing something. Even if like obviously, like all of us don't pay attention to what the teacher is saying all the time. I get that, but the thing is that that environment is important, like we are at the back benches. Was also obviously most of the backbenchers life. I know I have been a backbencher most of my life, so I know what it is to be a backbencher. But I'm not recommending, by the way. You will be caught, especially in Dheeraj sir's class. Don't ever be caught slacking off, but you will be kicked out of the class. Anyway, so what I wanted to say is that we never get that same feeling when we are at the college, at the campus itself, because at the when we are attending online classes, it's always like one way gateway. The teacher is teaching, sometimes he asks some questions, we are interacting, but it is completely not enough for us to talk about it and what our doubts are. I mean, obviously some of us ask our doubts, and the teachers, obviously they are helpful, they are very much ready to help us. But the thing is that when we are at the offline classes in the campus, they see our expression, whether we are understanding or not, and they know we are understanding or not, and they come up to us and ask her, did you understand that, and tell me what it was, right? You have seen that, and that is very productive, that is very efficient, and that is very interactive, and a very efficient way of learning, I would say. But enough about the COVID situation. I can go on and on about it without an end, and this will just eat up our time anyway. So at first, when we are talking about our college, we all got attached to our college and the city of Bhagalpur. So let's talk about the city itself. Talking about the city, let me tell you some interesting stuff about Bhagalpur. The city is a very rich historic as well as cultural importance. It is situated on the southern banks of the river Ganges in the state of Bihar. Once considered as the biggest trade center of eastern India, the city is famous for its unique silk fabrics known as tasha or tashar. Silk weaving is an age-old tradition in the city, Fabrics produced in the city are famous for their domestic and the international market. Bhagalpur cluster ranks second highest next to Karnataka in the production of exports of silk fabrics. It has been named the Silk City due to its popularity for Bhagalpuri silk. guess what? Our logo was designed to honor this particular tradition of silk trade itself. If you look closely, you will see that the I's and the T's in the logo are weaved in such a way, appear to be weaved, not like weird, but it is appearing to be weaved in such a way that actual silk is weaved in reality. Don't you like? I was completely blown off. My mind was completely blown when I first realized this fact. Didn't you?
Yeah, Subarnajit, I was very surprised. As we can see, our logo is very simple, but it still holds so many meanings. Come on, it is presenting our city, the city in which our college is situated. That's so amazing, and what a creative mind.
Yeah, that's not all. It is said that the logo was also inspired by the Vikramshila Mahavidyalaya infrastructures as well. I must tell you, some really creative minds went behind the work to design the logo.
I completely agree with you, Subarnajit. Everything has some hidden value in it. Now, talking about our college, IIIT Bhagalpur was proposed to be established in September 2016. Finally, after all the work was in order, it was established in July 2017 under the mentorship of IIT Guwahati. IIT Guwahati is well known for their excellence in the field of tech and innovation. Our college was established in the Bhagalpur College of Engineering campus, and several faculty members, experts in their field, were provided by IIT Guwahati itself. Everything went swiftly, steadily as the first batch arrived. As I mentioned, we had a temporary campus provided by Bhagalpur College of Engineering. The proposal and the construction of permanent campus was not far off. For the time being, the students reside in the hostels situated close to the main building and the administrative building. Close, I say? Close enough to say that if you would have wake up just on the time for your first lecture and then pick up your bag, run for the academic building, they would still make it on time. So hostel life is a very exciting phase of one life and which should never be missed off. Don't you think, Subarnajit?
Yes, Roshni. I see you mentioned my personal favorite place in college. I mean, the CSE is such a place that I hold dear to my heart in the college campus, of course. Like, because, I have such fond memories of the place. I used to go out every day to play volleyball without end. I mean, countless hours with the seniors, with my batchmates. I mean, I can't even explain how much I used to have fun over there. Apart from that, you also mentioned that we have some music room, right? So in the music room, we had so many jamming and practicing sessions there. So like with Obrojit sir, and then you were there with me. So many practicing for the Republic Day, for the Independence Day, for the Teachers Day. We used to practice so much, and it was such a blast. I mean, and of course, like in the when we are talking about the CAC, we cannot forget about the chats we used to have while sipping tea. So it was amazing. I mean, I can't say that I do not miss it, because I completely, like, I from my heart I miss that place so much, because it is my favorite place to be in the college, and I just wish that I could go back to it, and like as soon as, I mean, what can I even say? Like, so I mean, I wish that our college opens so, like, sooner than later. So what can I say? But anyway, I can go on and on about the CSE without an end. But as I said, we also have a time frame to maintain over here. So now that we have talked about the campus, let us talk about how the college functions and how it has progressed over the years. We have 3 degrees offered by the college. First is the computer science engineering. The second is the electronics and communication engineering. Personally, I am from the electronics and communication engineering, and the mechatronics and artificial intelligence. Yeah, you are from there, and there was something about that in 2009 it was only mechatronics engineering, but suddenly Purnendu sir, who is the HOD of the mechatronics branch, like, he announced to us that we will also be implementing artificial intelligence and machine learning in that particular branch itself. So I will be coming back to you to talk about it, but first let me talk about the campus and where the classes take place, right? all the classes and lab sessions are held in the academic building. There is an audio visual lab hall for the cultural events and seminars to be held in. We also have had countless of dramatic performances, singing performances, and as I said, cultural events means these things, and it is a lively event that goes on and on. We also had this hackathon event which was also occupied by the audiovisual lab, and I will be coming back to that. I think we will be talking about it sooner, but let me just talk about that. Continue talking about the campus itself. Then we have is the library, which is stocked with the latest, not the latest, which is stocked with the curriculum books, and there is also a study hall connected to it. In the study hall, you can study peacefully without any disturbances. So what happens is when you're in the college, you don't get much places to study in because there's always some sort of noise or disturbances. But when you're in the study hall, it is completely air conditioned and it is soundproof. Soundproof as in obviously it is a library, so it has to be very low sound and people are generally going there to study itself. So I personally, for me, it was the favorite place for me to study because I was even in the hot summer days, I could stay I could cool off over there in the air conditioner and I could study without any disturbances. Now talking about the labs itself, it is stocked with the latest devices and equipments, and which is the necessary for. I have never had any trouble with the lab sessions at all because the equipments are so much managed and maintained, and every equipment you will find with mostly some of obviously electronic equipments fail sometimes, but always there is a stock which will be replaced by it. And I have personally found no issues with any of the lab equipments. Even in the computer lab and DSC lab, I think they are very well stocked, and the latest equipments, the computers, and what can I even say? It is one of the favorite. I had so much fun doing the lab sessions because I was learning everything. I was practically doing something that I was learning. So it was something new for me and very interactive, very innovative, and I had fun doing it. So now when I talk about next thing, we'll talk about the classrooms. All the classrooms in the building are equipped with the latest smart class technology, which helps the students a lot in terms of interactivity and efficient learning. Normally what we have is a blackboard where the teacher is writing, and we don't get so much, obviously the teacher interacts in all of the scenarios when I run offline classes, but we don't see much of the animations and how the thing is that, because you can only draw and write so much in a blackboard. Right. So having an audio-visual equipment, I would say audio-vision because the projector and the smart class technologies was such that the teachers could play their own animations and slides so that they could help us understand the concept and grasp the concepts a lot better. And it also helped in interactivity because we were visualizing the concepts and we could always, it is interrelated, we are learning the concept, we're grasping the concept, and obviously while grasping we're going to ask more questions, so interactivity was also more. And efficiency, obviously this all builds up to the efficient learning. And what can I say, these are the wonders of this new age, and I just miss the college so much, and I just miss offline classes. But anyway, I will not be going into the COVID situation again. Now next, what we also have is the mechatronic workshop, also known as the robotic workshop, not far from the academic building, which is where one might find the required machineries on operations of cutting, designing, and other mechanical operations. Now I have been there and I have asked sir to show me around. Due to my own curiosity, what I would find there and what the machines are there. They were so huge machines, I could not understand what was going on. So I asked sir, and he showed me around the place. He showed me this is the machine that bends, this is the machine that cuts. But obviously I don't know much about that. But since you, Roshani, are from the mechatronics engineering, can you care to elaborate about what the machineries and all the equipments are there in the workshop?
First of all, Subarnajit, the workshop is very fascinating. Once you just stepped in, you will get curious about what is that, what that machine do, what this machine does. Because mechatronics is a very, very good combination of mechanical, electronics, electrical, computer science. It is a bunch. You can say a mechatronics engineer is independent of all the course. They doesn't need an electronic engineer to monitor their work. They neither need this computer science engineer or a software engineer. to monitor their work. They can do it independently, and that's the only reason why this mechatronics branch is very fascinating and very enjoying. I can assure you that. And as we are talking about the workshop is fulfilled with lots of machine. It is having a simulation testing also. There are many machines like laser beam machine, laser cutting machine, and CNC machines. Even if I talk about our professor, Dr. Gaurav Kumar, has also developed a electric motor. It is a kind of a split phase motor, which is matlab, that all the parts of that particular motor which was designed by Gaurav sir was manufactured in the lab itself, each and every part of it, starting from the stator to the rotor, even the coils, everything. You can say it is a fully efficient lab, and yeah, it is very fascinating. And everyone, matlab, whenever I have even visited the lab, and it was really very motivating. If you want to learn more, try something, just get on that lab and do it. You can implement any of your ideas. There is just a need of little creativity when you are in that lab. I may say the newly technology of simulation lab is making it more and more efficient for new innovations that we can actually the imaginations of students or the creativity of students can be bring into the real world. I must say mechatronics engineering is a very vast branch of engineering, and it is very fascinating.
I mean, I am so envious of this because I never got to learn it till now. Anything, I never interacted with those machines, and I hope, because we have elective courses in the coming years, and I hope that I can learn something by electing one of those courses. And I just hope to learn something, and I hope to get my hands on those machines and see what they do for myself. But anyway, we are moving on. So also, since IIT Guwahati was the mentor college of the mentor college, the college, our college, IIIT Bhagalpur, has got nearly everything required to enhance the hard and soft skills of the students. Besides, when the college was established, a lot of faculties came directly from the college, from there itself, and a very lively and efficient study environment was carried on from there onwards.
Besides the academic and technical advancement of the college, since its establishment, there have been several activities held in the college to help students show their hidden talents and leadership skills. Our college has organized many cultural and technical sports events. When the new batch arrived, the first fresher event, Spandan, was organized by 2017 batch, which was a huge success. I can tell from the performances, videos, and photos that all our seniors had a lot of fun in that event. Don't you think, Subarnajit? How was
Yeah, I
it
mean,
precious for
yeah,
us?
yeah, I mean, even for us, not just them, but I have seen these videos that you were talking about. There were so many dance performances, drama performances, and overall, it was like games, fun, and games. And this tradition, I will say that it has been carried on to the next session always. I mean, said next year also, when we had our freshers ourselves. Like, it is such a marvelous thing. I mean, then that night when we get to know our seniors, they performed, obviously we being the freshers, or whoever, wherever the freshers are, they will be performing the mostly. But the thing is that we're interacting with the seniors, they're clapping, they're cheering us, they're the hosting the event, and it is such a different feel from what we have ever, because it is a first college big event, like it's a big event, and it's for our first college experience as freshers, and we are being welcomed there, and so it lasts our forever. Like that memory we cannot forget. I mean, I think it is one of the best experiences I had in my college life.
Yeah, a joyful evening indeed. I can assure you that these memories will stick with us, with all of us forever. Following that evening, the tradition continued onwards, as you already spoke about. We all took part in Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat events. It is a time event held by the government of India in order to bring several groups of college forward to represent the unity and culture of the India, of the country, in a manner that is informative as well as entertaining. Since our pet state was Tripura, many events were co-hosted by IIIT Bhagalpur team and NIT Agartala team in unison. It was truly a mix of culture and its expression lined up all the students and teachers alike from both the colleges. I may assure you that since Tripura is a northeastern state of India and most beautiful among the most beautiful states of India, we can get to know about lots of variety of cultures as we were introduced by the state of Tripura. That was so fascinating for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, the college esteem grew as the students and the teachers kept on working for the betterment of the institute. As things progressed, new batches of students started arriving as they found the college to be helpful, helpful platform to build a career that they, or in some cases, their parents wanted for them. But we all have watched the movie Three Idiots, and I mean, it take some pointers from reality as well. We all remember how it feels, but we're not going to be talking about that now. That is a discussion from other time, or we will talk about it later perhaps, right? So it is a helpful platform that they realized, and obviously then for them, as soon there will be a new development when the works of our permanent campus was to be started. The clearing of the grounds for construction were in the works. What I mean by the clearing of the grounds is that where the construction was to be happened, there was a huge mango tree grove, like mango tree filled. It was filled with mango trees. I remember we used to go out and hang out there sometimes if we were not allowed most of the time, but still we used to just explore.
It consists of many olden trees which are older than 500, 600 years. I've
Yeah.
seen those huge barks, greenery all over. Literally,
Yeah,
that
it
was
was.
a huge.
Yeah, it was like in the summer season. It's especially like if you would go there, there was so much. It was cooler than the other environments because obviously it is in the shade of the trees. We were so much lively. I mean, it's nature, or what can you expect? But the thing is that we had to clear those lands, and the clearance wouldn't be passed by the forestry department until and unless we would shift those trees from one location to another. So we wouldn't be allowed to have these deforestation if we would just cut the trees to clear the lands, right? It wouldn't have been allowed otherwise. So the mango trees that covered the assigned land for the
Yeah,
construction
that's
of the
going
buildings.
against nature.
Yeah. So the mango trees that were covered to assign land, the construction of the buildings were transferred from one place to the other and towards the succession of that plant. The college body had also been preparing for a techno-cultural fest for months during that time. All the teams had their works almost finished. Even the T-shirts for the even the T-shirts for the event were designed in order to get printed. But what story is without the twist pleasing to the human ears? But the thing is that I must tell you that I was particularly in that techno-cultural fest myself. I was in the public relations team, and everyone was working, everyone was doing their parts. I had a list of companies that we would be approaching for the sponsors, and we would be bringing up the budget, and like it was going so much well. I mean, this was the first big event for us, which would be held in a fest. That too. I mean, it was a big event for everyone. I think you were also a part of that event, weren't you, Roshni?
Yeah, I was a part of that event also, and I was taking part from cultural club, from music club actually, and we were all preparing for competitions, music competition, singing competition. Even the list of colleges to be invited was prepared. What would be the rules? What would be the gifts or the rewards for prize one, second, third? It all was planned, organized. We all were very, very, very excited for this fest to be held, but unfortunately, COVID came up and it just
Yeah, I
everything
mean,
stopped
but
as we never
as I said,
expected.
yeah, I mean, as I said, that, but what story without a twist is pleasing to the human ears? We all hit a snag as the COVID 19 lockdown started and put a hold on all of us. Further college developments. We were suggested to evacuate the college lands and to the safety of our homes. I mean, the faces, you should have seen the faces of the students leaving the college. We also had our next EBSB event lined up, and I was particularly eager to go to the different college, which is IIIT Agartala. I mean, it was such a disheartening moment. Everyone's faces was down, everyone was feeling so disappointed, but it was a necessary evil because we needed the lockdowns to occur and because we needed to quarantine each and every person. I mean, safe, like we needed to maintain the social distancing to prevent the spread of the virus any further. But whatever, we were all hit with something that we never expected. We got the mails mentioning the commencement of the online classes, as it was a sure thing that COVID wasn't going away anytime soon. Hell, we are still far
Yeah.
from being safe. At first, it was new for all the students to study and appear for online classes and examinations. The students who had spent their lives gaining knowledge in the physical classrooms with zero latency and had to arrive for the better internet speeds. But as time went on, everything started going smoothly. I mean, the thing is that we all know how the COVID situation, but I was mentioning it before also. I told you I would be coming back to it. I mean, somehow we all come back again and again. We're coming back to the same point. It's the COVID situation that we are in, and at least we are being able to host this podcast in this situation. But the thing is that it was not as smooth as it would have been if we were at the college itself. We would be interacting with the other students. We would be collaborating for other events and competitions, and which would be a lot more livelier and which would be a lot interactive. uh, but I digress. I mean, I can talk about this, and I'm going again and again at the same point. But the thing is that as time went on, as I saying, that everything started going smoothly, or we got a habit of it. I mean, we never got a habit of it. I mean, we had to align ourselves towards this habit. In the meantime, IIIT Bhagalpur gained the status of national importance and gained the independence of hiring its own permanent faculty, which was a truly great milestone for the college. I mean, amidst this COVID, also we have been blessed with such a big, with such a big event. I mean, not event. We were blessed with such a big status that a college will be able to hire its permanent faculty. So that's what about it. And now the college will be will be able to hire its own permanent faculty, as I always mentioned, and it is always obviously, as I said, that is a truly great milestone.
Yeah, it is. Not only IIIT Bhagalpur gained the status of national importance, but also the construction of permanent campus was on. The Union Minister Dr. R.P. Nishang laid the foundation stone for the permanent campus in December 2020, and the construction was about to begin smoothly. Those among us who happened to reside close to college got lucky and attended the ceremony. However, the COVID-19 happened to reside the COVID-19 lockdowns were far from being over, and the students and the faculty continued to carry on with the college curriculum and kept organizing cultural and technical events online. The country was still in the initial phases of diagnosing the virus and treating the infected. In the meantime, IIIT Bhagalpur created a revolutionary software that can be hooked to an X-ray machine to detect the symptoms of COVID-19 in the lungs of the patient. The college and the faculty members behind this tech were in use. God, we were very much happy to see how the college helped the country in this battle against this deadly virus. Normally, the COVID-19 test would have cost around 3,000 to 4,000 per test, but due to this new technology, the cost came down to around 100 to 150 rupees per test. God! Actually, India is a country where most of the people, or majorly the population, is belonging from middle class, and so it is very difficult for them to afford 3 to 4,000 rupees for per test, and this would have make their budgets very much safer. You can say that now they can easily afford this test. So this would not cure the disease, but at least it was potent enough to able to detect it, and at a very low cost to help isolate the people infected to further prevent the spread of virus. We also continued to form different cultural, technical and sports clubs which would go on operating online under the Gymkhana Council, which is the elected student board of IIIT Bhagalpur.
The technical and cultural boards have been working tirelessly on these clubs. I mean, to work on different projects, events, and competition. Roshni, do you have any idea how the technical board has progressed over the years?
Yes, absolutely. The technical board consists of coding, blockchain, robotics club, artificial intelligence and machine learning, electronics club, and so on, which strive to lead the students to work on different projects on their respective fields and expand their horizon of knowledge regarding different topics and to take part in ongoing competitions. We must appreciate the DSC club working independently to guide and help students improve their coding skills by collaborating with real-time software engineers to get maximum exposure of the software industry. Now that I think about that, there have been so many huge events in the technical field in the past. We had a ProGate Learning Week where many students took an initiative to learn and impart knowledge about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and so many students took part in that. And we all worked in so many different projects and created so many innovative web pages. I remember this, do you?
Yeah, I mean, we had so many different things. I remember taking part in this, but unfortunately, I did not continue it very further. Like, I think you continued a lot more than I did. But at that point, I maybe it was at my own fault. I was a very lazy person at that time, so I did not go in very further. But I remember that the things they were teaching were very innovative. The HTML and CSS to create and design your own web pages. And I also remember that one of our own batchmates of 2019 batch, I think there was one competition of who can design the best web page, and I think Pushkar Moria of our batch won that competition.
Yes, Pushkar Moria did. Actually, he did deserve it because the website he designed was very creative. You can say it was one of the very best website I have ever seen. Even I was competing for that competition as well. So yeah, that was very good. And such competition actually make us more creative. Like we go on, we pass on, we actually come out of our own. Boundaries and create so many things. It was very good experience for me, and we also had so many workshops on different topics in electronics, robotics and new technology. The Code Chef program aimed at sharpening everyone's skills in coding has started around 2019 and it is still going on with new events coming up every now and then. In 2019 we also had the hackathon where so many students made group and worked on various projects which was so innovative and smart. Some worked on smart web pages which was so skillfully constructed and designed that it was like I was in complete awe. Wow. I remember one group implementing artificial intelligence to have voice recognize function using AI/ML databases, which was such a skillful thing to work on. One group used sensors to detect impurities in water by measuring the conductivity of the liquid. I may say they are really keeping account of the natural problems that we are facing. Another group also created a prototype of smart street lights which are activated only when it sends movements to save energy. I must tell you, we have some really talented minds in our college. I would go on all day talking about them and the other projects as well. If I miss some, please don't hold it against me. I was already overwhelmed with so much happening and it is somewhat hard to keep track of everything.
Don't worry, Roshni. I'm sure the participants would understand. Even I was overwhelmed with so many new things happening that the students had come up with, and I would be at a loss as well. Well, we can go on and on about the technical board, but now let us talk about the cultural board. The cultural board consists of the music club, singing club, cinematography and animation club, photography club, literature club, dance club, digital designing club, EBSB club, and so on. They conduct a cultural night every year filled with live performances, games, and a lot of fun. I can't wait for the next cultural night. In fact, in this particular cultural night, I was one of the organizers and hosts of the of the event, and I was hosting this game show, this game, which was this dumb charades where everyone was asked to switch on their cameras. Like we were having to, like, someone would enact what some movies were given to them. I would personally message them the movie so that other people would not be able to see what I was sending. So I would send them these movies, and they would have to switch on their cameras and mute their mics, and they would be enacting just how we normally do in dumb charades. So it was such a lovely event. I mean, I had so much fun, and I cannot wait for the next event. And I hope that the next event is offline rather than online, because I want to interact with people more rather than going it online. Obviously, the online event was a success, but it will be even better if we were in the college campus and we were interacting. We were sitting there and we were playing these games. We were performing, and like it would have been completely different. And I hope that my dream comes true next time. So anyway, moving on, one can also reminisce about the days where every student comes together to perform on Republic Day and Independence Day. Such patriotism accompanied by a march past and flag hoisting done by the director sir himself. I mean, I must tell you that at each and every these of these patriotic events, every student comes in to do drama performances, to have so many songs, music, dance. It is such a lively event. It just makes you remember those patriots that gave up their lives fighting for our country. And I mean, online we are also having these events online, and we have pre-recorded performances which we are presenting during these events. But it is nowhere near what we had in the offline events. And yeah, again and again, I'm going back to the same thing, same topic at hand, which is the COVID. I mean, I know we cannot do anything about it, but the thing is that it just strikes your mind again and again, and it just makes you remember how the things were back before the lockdown started. But anyway, so yeah, I just miss being in college so much now that I think about it. Like, they also have organized so many cultural competitions, including a photography competition, dance competition, essay writing competition, parliamentary debates, and even a meme competition. Who doesn't like a good meme, right? I mean,
Yeah, they are
yeah,
the main spice of our
when we are
life,
going through our
isn't
boring
it?
lives, scrolling through social media, a little bit we are being overworked with work pressure and so much assignments and exams you have to study for, and so many lab reports that we have to create. A good meme always calms you down and gives you a good laugh. It's just a different feeling when you're going through and suddenly a relatable good meme comes up. So yeah, I would say that it was a pretty good event. And moving on, so I would like to mention Om Rai, a current 2020 batch student who took part in an online competition in IIT BHU and came in fourth position in that competition. We're really proud of you, Om. But it's not just Om. Many enthusiastic students from the cultural board participated in so many inter-college competitions. Saket Kumar, Baru Ravaneshwari, Kumari Surya, Aditya Vats, and Abhyam and Josh, and you and I also participated in so many competitions. It was such a good experience. We got to explore so many different areas and got to know about so many different talents from the students who are just like us. I mean, you and I, there was just, I mean, I was baffled by the amount of talent that I got to see in those competitions. I mean, I hope to achieve those levels someday. Oh, and by the way, I heard that some new developments are being made related to the postgraduate degrees in the near future. Do you know anything about that, Roshni?
Yes, of course, Subarnajit. There has been some developments on that end too. As we mentioned earlier, that IIIT Bhagalpur has now gained the status of national importance. It means that now it could implement its own MTech, PhD, and dual degree courses in its curriculum. These achievements point towards a bright future of the institute and the students. The official notice is soon to arrive, but we know for sure that if it is in work, and will be implemented soon. I wish to enroll for a postgraduate degree as well. I would love to learn more about the courses and continue to study more going forward. BTech is just a beginning for us engineering students. Won't you agree,
Of course,
Subarnajit?
I would love to explore the field going forward, and it is such a good news that our college is implementing these courses. I cannot wait to see what happens in the future. Also, I am taking a minor course in computer science engineering along with my BTech in electronics and communications engineering already. Did you know about that minor course, Roshni?
Yes, absolutely. The minor degree has already been implemented where a student of a certain stream can opt for a subject or another stream each semester, implemented starting from the current 2019 batch and will be implemented similarly going forward. It will help in expanding our horizons in technical field and help our knowledge go even further. Oh, I almost forgot. It almost slipped my mind. But since we are talking about the industry and our education, the 2017 batch, the very first batch of this college, had their placement this year. Total 21 companies arrived, and the average package received by the students was 8.8 lakhs. Look, looks like their hard work of 4 continuous years paid off. It was a really good news for our college that the first placement of our college was so good. Isn't it,
And I'm
Subarnajit?
sure that our listeners wanted to hear this news themselves. I mean, I think this is one of the main reasons you hooked on to this podcast, to learn about, to like get the statistics or a general idea what happened in the placements this year. And this is obviously a very tremendous news, Roshni. I know that the placement statistics will only get better from now onwards. I cannot wait to complete my education and tap into the industry for myself as well. But we seriously do not look forward to completing our graduations online. I mean, I want to go into those, like after completing my graduation, I want to go to my campus and like take part in those interviews while sitting in face to face with the interviewers, not some sort of online interaction. I mean, even then, I mean, as I said, I'm just coming again and again to the same topic, so I will not go to that because I will just bore our listeners. But anyway, so but with this, we have come to an end of our podcast. I hope that you, our listeners, found it informative and interesting. We both had a lot of fun hosting this, and I hope you to continue this trend from now onwards, as we are going to be hosting a podcast every week. Thanks to the cultural board for giving us such a great opportunity. So don't forget, tune in to In the Talks by IIIT Bhagalpur for more fun and interesting topics to talk about. Once again, thank you for joining us in for our podcast, and we will be seeing you in the next time.